To begin our value moon, we're going to get our name on the back in pencil. And then you're going to move that circle tracer around to a nice spot. Maybe it's not in the middle. Maybe your moon is off to a corner. And with my pencil, or even the white crayons that are at your table, I'm going to trace this circle super light. If you're somebody using pencil, super light, because you will probably see that outline if you go too dark. Hopefully that's showing up on my video. I am going to have my paper tall. I'm going to have the moon tall up in the corner, but to fit it on the camera, it works best if my paper is turned this way. I am going to demonstrate with blue. So with the tiniest little bit of blue paint on my brush, I am going to mix that little bit of blue in the whole glob of white that I have. And my job is to make the lightest value of blue. And I am going to go around that moon with the lightest value. Little by little, I am going to keep adding blue to that pile. As I'm painting, I'm trying to keep my brush strokes nice and even. I'm going to add more blue. Then I get a darker value. I'm going to go around again. I don't notice much change with that. I'm still going to continue. This time, I'm going to make it darker, more blue. I might not mix into the whole pile of white. So if I have any oopses, I can go back and use that lighter value if I need to. It's important as you're painting that you are blending the colors. By that, I mean I am not just going right next to the color. They're overlapping a little bit. So it looks like a smooth transition from light to dark. Up here, I might get some paint on the table, not a big deal. I am going to continue in a circle all the way to the edge of my paper. You will notice that the examples that were shown in class, when you get all the way to the edges of the paper, that's when you're going to use just the color you started with. So I'm still having white in these spots. And as I get down here, that's how dark that bottom part should get. But I would go from the moon to the edges of your paper. When you're finished, this paper is going in the drying rack. You are throwing away your paper plate, and your dirty brush is going to go in the cup at the store counter. Make sure you use that rag at your table to wash your table. On day 2, my example is done with purple. So on day 2, I am making a pencil drawing of a tree. You get to decide what else you might want in that picture. I accidentally have some blue paint right here. So I am gonna smear that off, and I'm gonna have my tree branch start right in that spot so I can cover it up with my black marker. My tree branch has to be thick, so I'm going to make it 2 lines thick. As it comes out and grows into the moon, it gets skinnier. At the end of my branch, I'm going to turn it into a V, turned on its side, and these lines are just going to kind of touch and meet the points. Looks like a little claw or maybe a bubble letter Y. Every time I add a branch, I'm going to start by making it thicker where it touches, and then it gets skinnier. And then maybe this has little triangles that look like the letter Y. Every time it's thick and it gets skinnier. Even these Y's can have Y's. You do not have to draw every single branch. I would get a few on there that you want. If you want to add animals, we talked about them being black shapes. So my bat might start out looking like a cat. Just a pencil drawing. I'm going to color that in with my black marker in a minute. If you want a cat or an owl, that's totally fine. If you have other ideas, that works. What doesn't work for this project is words and letters, because we would never see words and letters coming out of somebody's mouth. You're going to have 2 markers once you're ready for them. I would use the bigger marker for bigger areas. use the smaller marker for smaller areas. You are outlining and coloring in everything you made so it looks like a black silhouette shape, solid black. We've looked at lots of examples on the board. Make sure you're doing your best, nice, neatest work, and use both of those markers if you need to. This little marker is going to help me get some really nice details in these animals. This little marker is also nice for the skinny little branches that you can add to your tree. The more branches you have, the more real your tree is going to look. When you're finished, these are going to go in the special spot Mrs. Cleary is pointing to right now.